What's up, y'all? Shadypeach here, and in today's video we are going to be doing an opening mixed with a bit of a rant. If you can't tell by the title of this video, obviously the main thing that we're going to be discussing is the ban list that was just announced today. Today, as of the day of me filming this video, I don't know what day I'll actually be able to get this out. Probably be like a few days after the ban list, so all the talk will probably be over. But anyway, I just wanted to say my 2 cents on it. A lot of people are happy. Some people are not. I'm kind of in that boat. Obviously, I'm a Ruby Sapphire player. I've been a Ruby Sapphire player since set 2. I've been a Ruby Sapphire player when the deck was good, when the deck was bad, and just throughout the transcendence of this game. And obviously, I won't deny it that Ruby Sapphire and Sapphire Steel right now in the game are tier 0 decks. They are ridiculously powerful. And I've even noticed it at locals that I've gone to that it's just a sea of Sapphire decks. And I will admit that is not how the game should be. It should be a variety of things. It should be a mix of different things. And I was getting very nervous because this kind of felt a little familiar. If you guys remember Bucky, when Bucky was errated, there was a lot of call for him to be taken care of by the community. And this was the loudest I'd ever heard the community wince about something. So I kind of had a feeling Hiram was going to be banned. Though, by the way, spoiler alert, I don't know if I've already said it. Hiram and Fortisphere are the only 2 cards on the ban list right now. Hiram Flaversham, the card that's a Sapphire card that lets you draw 2 cards anytime he quests and when he's summoned. And Fortisphere is just a 1-cost item that lets you draw when you play it, and it also can be popped to give your character bodyguard. But the main thing was the consistency engine for Sapphire Steel was too strong with Fortisphere, and Hiram just gave a lot of powerful recovery and draw engines to Ruby Sapphire and Sapphire Steel. So I'm not overly upset, I would say, about what was on the ban list. I'm more upset about what wasn't on the ban list, because this is where the majority of my rant comes in. We can go ahead, by the way, and switch to me opening packs, so it's not just you guys looking at my face, and I know you guys want to see me open some stuff. We're mainly going to be opening up Floodborn just to kind of say our farewells to Hiram, because the list is effective today, like immediately. It wasn't like, oh, in a week or the end of the format or starting next format or anything like that. Just a random Tuesday in the middle of the week, just bam, no more Hiram. So we're going to go ahead and open up a bunch of Floodborn packs. I also have a couple first chapter sleeves that I forgot about that were just kind of in the bottom of my backpack, and a couple other random packs as well, but mostly Floodborn. So we're going to go ahead and open those up real quick, and I can go ahead and get on with my rant. So here we have about 10 sleeve blisters, and then I have a random de-sleeved one already. I have a few random packs from sets 3, 4, and 5. Yes, 3, 4, 5. And then I have 2 first chapter blisters that I've been meaning to open. So it's kind of a random assortment of things. This is kind of a weird video, so we're going to go ahead and get to it. I also bought myself a structure deck just because I wanted to... I don't know. I'm going to keep my options open, and I know most of the Amethyst engine is in these structure decks, so I just wanted to buy one so I have like all of the Amethyst cards ready to go. So that's kind of where the majority of my frustration is I would say for sets 1 through 5, so the first 5 sets of this game, Amethyst kind of ruled the world. They weren't the only deck that was being played, but it felt like the majority of decks winning, not the most played, but the majority of decks that were winning big events, even nationals won, but that came later, were Ruby Amethyst. And Ruby Amethyst statistically was the best deck going forward through each set for quite some time, and nothing ever came from Ravensburger. No one banned anything. I still, to this day, personally think that Rabbit is the most busted card in the entire game, but he is untouched, and Hiram is. So that's kind of where my frustration is. Diablo is still a very powerful card. Not powerful enough for me to want to ban it, because I've always been able to handle Diablo. I'm going to start opening stuff, by the way. Yeah, because like the main way you deal with Diablo is you play things like Brawl, mostly Ruby cards. And the two decks that really utilize Ruby is Ruby Sapphire and Ruby Amethyst. Now, right now, Ruby Amethyst isn't really a big thing, but Ruby Sapphire definitely was. So now that that's taken off the market, I have a feeling that we're going to see a very big surgence of discard decks around the corner. We're also going to see, hopefully, we can hit a Hiram just to kind of say our passing farewell to him. But we'll see. We'll see if we're lucky enough to make that happen. Got a Grand Pabby for our first one. But yeah, that's my main gripe, is I kind of expected that Hiram would eventually be touched, because I know a lot of people were complaining about how powerful he was. I just wasn't expecting his only companion to be Fortisphere. I was really hoping things like Rabbit, especially, is at the top of my list. Pete, I think, is ridiculously overpowered just because he shuts down a third of most people's decks, unless you're like an all-character deck. There we go. We got a Madam M Fox. We have King Louie and a Hercules. I'll put the Fox to the side. It's not a bad pull from a random pack. We'll go ahead and open these up. But yeah, I found out about the ban list early in the morning, so I wasn't really able to react fully to it until today. It's like, or at this point, it's like the end of the day. It's like 11 p.m. at night. So I was like, I want to get a video out while the feelings are still somewhat fresh. But yeah, I would say that's my main gripe, is that there wasn't more on the ban list. Ravensburger did make a bit of a post about that, saying that they will always be watching and they'll always keep an eye out on things. They said that for Amethyst, the idea of banning Rabbit didn't float their boat, just because it felt like Amethyst's color identity is drawing cards. And I think one of the main reasons they banned Fortisphere is because they wanted Sapphire Ruby to really be the item deck, and they didn't really feel like Steel meshed well with the whole item synergy in their original plans. I mean, it does mesh well. It's really good. Like throwing a Scrooge McDuck down. There he is. There he is. Rest in peace, Hiram Flaversham. You will be missed. He's not... That's another thing, too. They could have errated him. They could have made it so that way when you play him, you can only do it once. Or, like, he doesn't have the quest effect to draw 2 more cards. Or maybe he just lets you draw 1 card. Or they could have made him maybe like a uninkable. They could have done a lot of things, but nope, just straight up ban. I mean, they might as well have said Bucky is banned, because Bucky is just unplayable by how much they nerfed him. But there he is. I'm glad we at least hit him. So there he is. We have the Queen and a Eudora. I'm going to go ahead and put him to the side. Rest in peace. Good old Hiram Flaversham. I might have always been saying his name wrong, too. It might be Hiram, but who cares? Everyone calls him Hiram, whatever. Flaversham is his name-o. But yeah, it was definitely a shock. I'd say one nice thing about this is that it does kind of solidify that they're going to go the ban list route instead of the block format route, which I prefer. Block format is when a card game rotates out sets. They might still do that, but I'm really hoping not. Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't do that. They just do the ban list route. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So that means that the first chapter will always be accessible. It won't necessarily rotate it out, although it might be ceased in printing, just because new cards will come out to make everything in the first chapter obsolete. But yeah, it's nice that the Band-Aid has been ripped off. Oh, Popsicle. Very nice. I will put the Popsicle to the side. That's a main draw engine now at this point for Sapphire. Yeah, so I'm just worried about the Amethyst Surgence that's going to be coming out. I feel like Amethyst decks and discard decks especially right now are going to reign supreme, because the main thing that was holding the floodgate of discard decks back was Ruby Sapphire with their big Sisus. Now, is Sapphire completely dead? I don't think so. Should you sell all of your Sapphire cards? I don't think so. I think prices are definitely going to be fluctuated and dropped. Am I going to stop playing Ruby Sapphire? Not at the moment. What this is essentially going to do is it's going to force me to cook. I'm going to have to go to the card well of options and just put stuff together. It's not going to be as optimal as it was with Hiram, obviously, but, you know, I think that there's still a lot of strength that Sapphire cards have. Oh, that's pretty good. We got a foil Lady Tremaine. I will take it. Always nice to see. That's one of my favorite Ruby cards, I would definitely say. The fallback is to make a Ruby Amethyst deck. I really don't want to do that, but that would be the other deck that's closest to my style, my play style. I really like control decks. But what I'm most likely going to do is follow my senpai DKP strategy. He has his Ruby Sapphire Shark deck, and he wasn't even running 4 Hirams at the time of him being in major competitions. He would run like 3 and sometimes even 2. So I might follow in his footsteps and go something around that route. So we'll see what happens. I do look forward to the future, and obviously new sets will come out. I'm sure Hiram will be replaced. But I'd say my biggest gripe is also just how many things are going to just really run rampant, because we're going to see a lot less Ruby Sapphire in the meta, and Sapphire Steel. I don't think Sapphire Steel is necessarily dead either. Most likely they'll just make the, they call it the Kiwi version, where it's very much more aggro-based and running locations. But we'll see. I am very hopeful. This is the first thing that Ravensburger has done that's kind of burned me up a little bit. Because like I said, for the first 5 sets of this game, Ruby Amethyst just reigns supreme. Yes, that's a pretty good pull. That's pretty good. We got Beast and Sneezy. Like I said, Ruby Sapphire has been one of the most played decks for several formats, but the most successful when it comes to wins and victories in major events, not counting recent games or tournaments, I would say would still be Ruby Amethyst. Has the biggest record of that. And no one banned anything. It felt like they just gave Amethyst more toys to play with. Now they have Genie, they have Rabbits, they have friends on the other side, they have all kinds of draw. What kind of draw does Sapphire have now at this point? They have a Popsicle. They have a Judy Hops. That might be what I'm doing, by the way. I might be also looking for Judy Hops around the corner, but we'll see if I can pull any of her at this point. I don't know if I'm going to run 4 Judy Hops, but I might run a couple. I used to use her back in the day when Floodborne first came out, so we'll see. But yeah, it's a day for sure. I still have another video that is going to be coming out that is pre me learning about the ban list, and I think in that video we also pull a Hiram, so there will be a video in between. My gosh, what was my last video I uploaded? Oh my goodness, I think it was like a Shimmering Skies video or something like that. Nice, we got a Queen, always nice to see, and a Prince Naveen. All right, we might be tapped on Floodborne, but anyway, I have another video coming out where I'll be ignorant about the ban list, so you guys will see that, and then you'll see this, and then we'll kind of go from there. There is, I would say, the vast majority of the YouTubers that I've watched are pretty ecstatic about this. A lot of people, like I said, have been calling for Hiram to be banned for a long time. There's only a couple that are kind of in my boat where it's like, well, yeah, but why is he alone? Why can't there be more things? But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. We got Card Soldiers, Perplexing Signpost. We got a Cogsworth, that's very nice, and a Fairy Godmother. All right, so that's it for Rise of the Floodborn. Now we'll go ahead and open up these random packs, and then at the very end, we'll go ahead and open these first chapter sleeves. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of my rant. Nothing more to really report. And I have nothing but high hopes for this game. I think it's an amazing game. I do know that there are a lot of people that are upset when it comes to how much money they spent on this new set. I would say that is definitely something I do have a lot of sympathy for. There's probably people that are like, what was it? Sapphire Steel was like a decent deck. And then before, that's pretty good. We got a Pete. Before this happened, A lot of people were really hopeful when they saw the new cards, so Sapphire Steel became like a dominant force. I think it became a little too dominant, and it's not like Ravensburger can just go and ban the new cards that just came out in the new set. So what's the obvious solution? Is to ban something like Hiram to kind of slow things down. So the Tamatoas and the Sapphire Coils and the Scrooge McDucks, they can't touch those because those just came out. I think that would be a huge economical bad move. And if they did, this new set also would stop selling. That's pretty good. We got a Clarabelle, Light on her hooves. That's a pretty decent pull. And well, that's actually pretty good too. We got a foil Gathering Knowledge of Wisdom. That's not too shabby. Oh, the hyper aggro decks are coming. Get ready, everybody. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I watched Quantum Mercury. He's another YouTuber, and he's kind of been saying the same thing, where they can't ban the newer cards that just came out in this new set. And he's also a little frustrated about the fact that nothing else was really banned like in Ruby Amethyst decks. But Ruby Sapphire, they were like, yeah, let's go for it. But anyway, the wounds will heal. Let's go ahead and open these bad boys up. I'm very grateful that they didn't ban Popsicle, though. I think that is nice that they got rid of Fortisphere. So, gives all of the power to Sapphire when it comes to... Oh, there it is. Wow. Okay, so we hit both of the banned cards. This is the other banned card, by the way, if you're not familiar. Is Fortisphere and Hiram Flaversham. So, obviously you know about Hiram. I've been ranting about him for the last 15 minutes. We got Pepe Madrigal, Be King Undisputed, and a Rose Lantern. All right. Glad we hit a Clarabelle. I think the two Sapphire decks that are going to thrive right now is actually Blurple. Just because they didn't use Hiram anyway. They have the purple engine as their draw engine with things like Rabbit and Genie. And I would say Sapphire Green, Emerald. I think that deck doesn't necessarily need Hiram, but some decks do use them. So both of those will be just fine, I think, going forward. We have Lythos, we have Mufasa, Peter Pan, and a Robin's Bow. All right. Now we'll go ahead and open up these two first chapter packs. I got these in Frank's a long time ago, and I totally forgot that they were just in the bottom of my backpack. So hopefully the cards aren't damaged, because like the sleeve itself isn't in the best condition, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and open these up. You guys know it's very rare that we get to open up first chapter packs. So let's see. Can we make today a little bit better? So far, the pulls have been decent. Nothing too amazing. I'm glad we hit the Clarabelle. But let's see. Do we have anything amazing hiding in these two first chapter packs? So we have Maleficent, Tinkerbell, Magic Golden Flower. This is something I used to use with Popsicle back in the day. Oh man, don't let me go back to those days. We have Aladdin, Tigger. We have Pascal, Cheshire Cat, Mickey Mouse Musketeer, the Queen, and a Yzma. All right, nothing in that one. All right, last pack. Last pack magic. Come on, first chapter. Give us something. Oh, perfect. It's a Mickey pack, too. Always happy to see him. Come on, what do we got? What do we got? Okay. Oh, well, let's get rid of that. All right, so we have Abu, Pumbaa, Maleficent, Peter Pan, Philatides, Fire the Cannons, Fan the Flames, Anna, Mad Hatter, Just in Time, Genie, and final card of the day, and Elsa, but not the one that we're looking for. All right, so nothing too crazy in the first chapter packs. So in terms of things that were valuable that we pulled, we got Be King Undisputed, Clarabelle, which is probably the best thing we hit, Gathering Knowledge of Wisdom, a Pete, Cogsworth, the Queen, Cinderella, got a Popsicle, which is always nice to see, Foil Lady Tremaine, Pinocchio, another Popsicle, He Who Shall Not Be Named, a Queen, and a Madam Mim. So there he is, This is definitely the end of an era. It's a perfect way to end things. We will miss you, Hiram. We will definitely miss you, and I hope that maybe one day we can see you again in another form. But until then, oh, you know what? Actually, where is... we got to be kind. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There you are. Ha ha ha. There we go. That's our thumbnail. The goodbye to both Fortisphere and Hiram, the first 2 cards on our ban list ever. Hopefully, you guys will get some company soon. Hopefully some Amethyst or Emerald cards pretty soon to join you. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you guys did enjoy. I know this was a little bit more of a bummer video, but every now and then we got to throw those in. All right. You guys have a great rest of your day.